Do-do-do-do. Well, the thing stopped spinning. That means we're live on Playing in Traffic. It's the only visual cues we have. So, your guest host for tonight, Lewis is on the road to PRI. He'll be in shortly. I don't know where he is or how long it'll take him, but you've got me, Ray Guarino from Motormouth Radio, and Jim LaStella. That's we're covering the Eastern contingent here tonight. So none of the Western guys are around, Jim.
Yeah, we got the Long Island covered.
Well, we always do.
Greatest hot rod place in the world.
I don't know about that.
No, it sounds good.
Yeah, it's a good one, but there's plenty of stuff around, man. There really is.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but there's a cruise every night of the week.
In season, yeah, there's too many. There's actually, you can't keep track of them. There's too much going on, and there's all sorts of just on the local scene. Here's our Matt come in.
Hey guys, what's going on?
You're looking at it.
This is it?
Yeah.
What happened?
Lewis is on the road to PRI. And if I had to guess, I'd say he's with Tyler and maybe right. Terry. I know Dina and Andrew were on their way up. They were traveling today.
I thought PRI started today, though.
I guess, yeah. So, maybe it's a later check-in or whatever. I mean, Dina was on the road this morning. So,
yeah, I got a friend of mine going there this week, too.
That's the one show. That is the one show that I'd want to go to. I would do that before I went to SEMA, I think.
Yeah, definitely more of a gearhead show than SEMA.
Yeah.
So. I think it's not as glamored as SEMA. Right. SEMA probably started out like that, but it's gotten to be such a spectacle or a circus, I guess. I don't know. I know that from talking to other people that PRI is starting to become that way now. It's starting to move, it's not as big, but it's starting to get that that type of feeling or taste.
I guess everything evolves. Everything does. These shows always take it takes time. Because think how many generations now have gone through SEMA.
Oh yeah.
A lot. So just for that reason alone.
Well, it's like like you said, it's anything and everything. It's when they say that you're an overnight success, you know what I'm saying? But, they didn't realize it was 35 years of doing something before you got there.
Yeah, that's how long the night was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a little while.
So, but I don't know. They all seem to be hitting the chat room up pretty hard.
Okay. What's going on?
Paul's trying to get rid of those 5.3 motors. Or those LS motors or whatever.
He may have found that he has the ones that people don't want.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the problem. Unless you got somebody weird. It's kind of like me with my 289s, you know what I'm saying? Because, why have a 289 when you can have a 351, right?
Yeah, but that goes on with any brand of cars, because I know guys with Chevys that still look for 283s and 327s.
Yeah.
It depends what you want to do with it. I mean, if you're looking to get the most amount of horsepower out of the cheapest platform, that's not the way to do it. But
well, unless you're like me. I mean, they all thought. And I still run into a few of the old guys from school, and they all still think I was crazy how much I was pushing through my little 289, and they all would go for a ride, and they all, we all loved watching the tachometer bounce off at that 10,000.
Well, that was the thing. Range. They had the K code. They had a hot version of, and I'll go this far too. even what I did with my own motor, I took a Pontiac motor, which back in the day there wasn't a lot of high performance. There was the bolt-on stuff, but the internal stuff, you had to have the factory stuff, which was like unobtainium. You had to be Nunzi because he grabbed it all. I even asked him for a set of rods, and he wouldn't give them up, even in his day and age.
Yeah.
So, but then I found out that, hey, guess what? The aftermarket did react, and I got pistons and rods, and some other components that I couldn't have afforded to buy back in the day. They were like NASCAR stuff, and now it was off the shelf. So, and those 283s and 327s and 289s, you can kind of do the same thing for the aftermarket. The motor had the longevity, so the aftermarket stayed with it.
Yeah, Tyler just said that Ray should be starting the show, and we're almost to the hotel room. So that's the official info that I got from the chat room there.
Tell him as soon as you get out of the massage parlor, you'll make sure you let me know when you get to a phone.
Hopefully when you go to check in, there's either somebody's not already in your room, or you got the single bed when you ask for the king size. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
wow.
I had that one time when I was going to the Porsche school up there in Mau or whatever it was up there, and I was staying at the we were staying at the Sheraton or whatever, the Hilton, probably the Hilton at that time,
right?
And I had got my room, threw the luggage in the room, and went out on the town there, and gone for a couple hours, and I came in through the
bathroom window.
Well, I came in through the back door,
close.
Close. I came in from the back door, and I had, there was like all kinds of stuff going on in the lobby, and I could hear and see down the hallway, all this stuff going on. So I just went on down, and I had stayed there a couple times, so I kind of knew the layout of the motel or the hotel, and got in the elevator and went up to my floor, and I thought it was kind of weird because when I got out, the other elevator was stuck open. The door was open, and I was like, and there was nobody around, and I said, man, that's really weird. So I kind of quiet on the floor, walk down and slide my key into the door, and it opens up, and it's packed. It's packed with suitcases and all kinds of stuff, And I was like, well, this isn't good. So as soon as I turned around to walk out, it was a Secret Service agent.
Oh,
and
I said, oh, wow.
Yeah. And he goes, what are you doing up here? And I said, I don't know. What are you doing in my room?
Yeah.
And I started dropping names really quick.
Right.
And they had pulled me aside and gave me the 50 questions. And I'm like, who's here and who's in town and what's going on, And so the only good thing about the whole thing was they sent me down. They took me back down, and the guy at the counter, at the registration or whatever, said, oh yeah, that whole floor has been sealed off. That's not, we didn't know you were on there. And so they moved me up to the penthouse. I got a penthouse that week when I was at school. I couldn't beat it after that, but I was like, is there any way I can get my luggage? It's just a little duffel bag up there, and it took a while. It came back to me but you could tell it was kind of manhandled.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I'm sure it was x-rayed, probed, prodded.
Oh yeah, I was like, man, this is like crazy. And the guy was like, well, how did you get up here? And I said, well, I came up the back, the back door there. I didn't come through the front, and because they only had, that was screwed up. I don't know who it was, because the 2 days or 3 days, the whole one elevator was shut off the whole time. So it was pretty funny. But I was dropping some names pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's funny. That's pretty funny. That's, it's kind of like, I think I told you this last summer, the last trip we made down to North Carolina. We're in a really nice hotel. I think we were on like the 3rd floor, and my wife and daughter went to go. We were checking out. They went to get something, maybe some ice or something. And I went to put bags in the car, and we were going to meet back. We each had a room key, and we kind of met up again. And my wife had said, she was like, "You'll never believe what happened." I was like, "Well, try me." I said, "Can't be too bad when you're talking to me." She forgot her room key. So they're walking down the hall, and they grab one of the girls, and
the maids or whatever,
and says, "Yeah, can you please let me in my room, because I left my key inside. It's this one right here." So the girl opens the door and just lets him in and goes her way. Then they go inside and they're like, "Wait a minute. Did Dad bring bags in? Like, what the hell?" No, it was the wrong floor. Just let her into somebody's room. I mean, imagine what you could have walked in on.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Holy crap! So they were, luckily there was nobody in the room that they knew of, that they saw. So they were they just kind of went out like, "What the hell floor are we on?"
Yeah, that was that happened to me when we were at Caesars the first time with the Mako convention, and we were at Caesars for the first time. And I always it's funny because with the wife, I'm like, she's got a better sense of knowing where to go,
right,
or how to go, and I'm like, let's take it easy, slow. I gotta like have landmarks, or reference points, and the first, I don't know if it was the first night or the second night, I get out and Jenny had already gone up to the room. I said, "Yeah, yeah." She goes, "You know where you're going?" "Oh, yeah, I know where I'm going." And so, of course, I get off on the wrong floor. And if you've ever been, all the floors look the same. I mean, they're all, the whole carpet, everything's
That's
furniture.
how this place was. Everything was identical, yeah.
Yeah, so I get out and I'm like, yeah, I think this is it. Looks right. So I'm like walking down the hallway, and all of a sudden, like one of the doors opens up, and the door across opens up, and this chick runs across. She's naked.
Really?
I mean, she's butt naked. And I'm like, and she says hi. I say hello, and she goes in, and I'm like, what the hell? Well, they were making a porno.
Wow.
They had this dude in this bed, and all this, and the doors. I was like, what the hell? I'm like, I think I'm on the wrong floor.
And they said, "Oh, you're the extra, right? You're the specialty guy." Yeah.
I'm like walking around, and then you realize I was like 2 floors off or something. And I'm like, holy crap, let me get back on the elevator.
I'm the Matco guy. I brought the tools.
That's right. I got the tools for the job. You could do anything if you have the right tools.
And that'd be a great commercial, wouldn't
it? I'm like, holy crap.
Wow.
But she wasn't shy. And they were just, like I said, when that door popped open, and I was like, holy crap, what's going on here?
You really can't be in that business, right?
Yeah, well. Yeah, so, but that was kind of funny.
So I got to tell you, this week I did that. I did the second inspection that I was charged with.
Oh, yeah.
I did that BMW.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I hope they all go this way, because the guys that ran the place were Indian, youngish. And I tell you, they got to have some checks and balances. They really do. Because I just walk in. I mean, I talked to the guy on the phone a couple times, but so I just walked in and said, "Yeah, I'm Ray. I'm here to, I'm here for BMW." Oh, yeah, okay. And he hands me the key and he says, "It's over there." He goes, "Go do your thing." I'm like, "Okay." So I go into the lot and there it was, and I spent quite a while walking around and doing all the little stuff.
Don't even check an ID or nothing, right?
No, not at all. And then, or that I have a license or anything. And then there was like a younger kid was like a helper, and he came around. He says, "Hey, you're going to drive this car?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's the plan. I do need to drive it unless the owner doesn't, want me to drive it. Then he can drive it." He goes, "Oh, I'll get you the dealer plate." I'm like, "Okay." So he gives me the plate and he just says, "Just don't lose this." I'm like, "Yeah, I know how important the dealer plate is." And off I went.
Don't lose it.
I was like, no,
Yeah.
I just made me think like, I mean, it's nice when everybody is honest and everybody can be trusted, but man, it leaves it wide open for any improprieties,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think the guy will buy this car, and I think it's the right deal. I mean, I got my antenna went up. I did that car on Wednesday. Tuesday, I called the guy to get back in there, and he said no. Well, I knew we had some rainy weather, so that's why it was postponed.
Uh-huh.
The guy who's looking at the car, who's in Israel, by the way,
Wow.
he was calling these guys and asking what's going on. How come did the inspector come yet? Why not? What's going on? And he's calling the inspection company and blah blah blah. Thank God he didn't have my number, but
Yeah.
so this guy, I know that guy knows the car because they gave me a list of questions that he gave them about specific items. So on Tuesday, this guy tells me, no, the car's going to be ready. You can't see it today. It went out to a mechanic's looking at the steering. I was like, really? And that was one of the questions this guy had posed was check the steering under all conditions.
That was on the van.
This is the BMW.
Oh, the BMW. Okay.
Check the steering, straight driving for any looseness, any wobbles. Check it under braking. Check it under turning. Check it in every condition. So I'm like, oh, went to the mechanic, huh? All right. I said, I'll call you tomorrow. So I figured that guy called and grilled. He started grilling him on what the car needed or what was wrong, and asking his specific questions. And to keep the sale, they sent it out. Now, I don't know what was looked at or what was done. I'll tell you, that car felt like it almost didn't have power steering. It was so firm, which was, it kind of catches you off guard when you first start to drive because it's very stiff. On the road, that's great. I don't know if it should be more like a variable where it's a little easier, more assisted at slow speeds.
Yeah, that it should be that way. It's
that would be nice.
That has, I can't remember what they called that.
GM called it variable assisted power steering. That was on the Monte Carlo. The first cars that had it was a 73 Monte.
Yeah, I can't remember what, something like active steering or something like that. They had some name, and it was, basically all the German cars had that because, at a lower speed, it was a harder force or, a tighter force, turning.
I mean, once when you make a couple of turns and you're used to it, I don't find that to be bad. And the car drove absolutely great. The brakes were great. Stop with your hands off the wheel, hands on the wheel, whatever. The thing just did everything it had to do. The weirdest thing about those cars is it's been a while since I've been in a Euro car, is the switch gear. And I know that's what everybody says about my BMW motorcycle. They can never get used to the switch gear, the way they put it on the handlebars. It's different than anybody else, especially the directionals. And this car, it got me too, because he not only wanted to make sure the headlight doors would actuate without any drama, but he wanted to make sure that the lights work, the headlights.
Yeah.
When those lights open, there's outside round lights that illuminate. I guess it's like a parking light. I don't know if it's a driving light. And then there's two more bulbs in there. So once I looked around close enough, I saw that the switch on the left side of the dash opens the lights, but then there's a switch on the right side of the dash that actually makes the headlights come on. I'm like, yep,
Right.
don't switch gear. It's a German car.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think, well, it depends on, I can't remember. I might even have a sales brochure on that car because they also had like what they call city lights.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it's you know, so when you're in the city, it's only like it's very similar to like daylight running lights. They're like 5 volts, you know, 5 volts
Well,
or something like that.
that's what comes on when you open the headlight doors.
Right. And then you have your regular, and some people will drive around with that, not knowing
Right.
any difference, and or they'll say, you know, the lights are on, but it's not as bright as they should be. And then you're like, well, did you turn them on? And they're like, well, they come on. And then it's like, okay, when you turn them on, it's like, oh my God, where did it, you know, I didn't know that. Or I've been, you know, for 4 months, I've been driving around.
American car owners would be the ones that would do that because, like I said, you know, I kind of knew that there had to be another switch. I just had to find it, and there it was. So,
and there he is.
There's Padrino.
Here's a man.
What up, fellas?
Lewis.
Man, you guys get in the room okay?
He's sideways. They slid in sideways, but they made it. Anyway,
yeah.
So,
but yeah, that stuff is, you know, like I said, it's so did you when you did you have the windows down and go over 60 and the windows go up by himself, or did you even try?
I didn't get to do that because I might have got to 60. I really wasn't looking. I was on 107, which is a secondary road. And you got to be careful. There's traffic. So I didn't get to check that window thing. But what I did find out is it was an automatic. It was an OD, a 4-speed automatic. And it shifted great. And that's what I did. The other thing I noticed was there was, I don't know if I want to call it a lag, but you hit the gas pedal and you didn't have like instant throttle response. I almost thought like my foot wasn't on the pedal or I was on the floor mat or something. It was kind of vague in the beginning and then it would come in. So I don't know if there was a, you know, I think it is fly-by. I think it may be one of the early fly-by wires. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's drive-by-wire. It should be.
Yeah, I was reading about that. So that's probably what it is. But, you know, once you're driving, it's okay. So
go on.
And like I said, it shifted fine automatically. The gears were fine. I couldn't get the dipstick out to check the fluid. I didn't know how the hell to get that damn thing out. It was like a mystery to me. But that's what makes you feel stupid. But when I put that thing, dropped that down in low and manually shifted it, the car hauled ass.
Yeah,
it really did. It was so much faster manually shifting it.
Yeah,
but
yeah, they when you with the drive-by-wire, you know, a lot of people were crazy. I mean, they didn't like the feeling of it, so they actually put a small cable in with the pedal because they wanted that resistance. And one of the biggest problems, they all had it during that time period, was the floor mats would get bunched up a little bit or rolled up a little bit, and it'll be on the gas pedal.
That's
and
what it felt like.
You'd have that funny resist. You know, a lot of times I can't even tell you how many times when I test drove those cars or worked on those cars, I automatically took the floor mat out because no matter how much you fought with it, it was always laying up against the pedal somehow.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's exactly what it felt like, and I would have looked for that, except I remembered I saw all of the mats in the trunk.
Oh,
so I'm like, okay, there was no mat, but yeah, it was just that vagueness.
Yeah.
So,
Lewis, you there?
You with us or what?
Yes, sir.
All right.
For some reason, the Wi-Fi is terrible here, so I got to jump on the phone.
Oh.
What are you guys up to? Anything good?
Not much. Just a Thursday evening, getting ready for a fun-filled a weekend. That's all.
Yeah. So I'm not feeling good, so I'm not going to work tomorrow. But
yeah, good.
I'll be at PRI Saturday.
You should stay home and rest. It's a good idea.
Yeah, you need to cut out early and get some sleep, young man. You looking a little rough around the edges.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully tomorrow later in the afternoon I'll take off to PRI.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Only if
I'll
you
let
feel
you guys
better.
know what's happening.
Only if you feel better.
Yeah. So how's everybody's week?
Quiet.
Cold.
Yeah.
I was busy.
Yeah, driving BMW is nice.
Yeah, that's my new. And and the woman calls me yesterday. We're going over some stuff on the form, and she says, "Hey, listen." She goes, "I know these first two vehicles aren't really what you like or want to do or trained to do." She goes, "How about?" Because I got one, a Chevelle, a 70 Chevelle SS.
Wow.
It's a 396 4-speed car. Is Valley Stream anywhere near you? I'm like, yeah. I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, I'll be there. And she goes, okay, I'll send you the information. I'm like, oh, this is great. This is exactly what I signed on for. And she texts me back in like about a half hour, says, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought Valley Stream. It's in Florida. I'm like, I'll go.
So-
Yeah, like Paul says, it's only like a 22-hour drive for you. I mean,
Exactly.
So was she selling it or?
No, I'm my new side gig is doing auto inspections for this company. Like someone wants to buy a car off eBay, and they'll call this company, who will send their inspector out. Which in this area it's me, and I have to go look at the car. I got a 6-page report. I got to take 150 pictures. Got to test drive it, and then report.
What's the name of the company?
Automobile inspections. Believe it couldn't be simpler, or stupider.
Okay, so Brian from Tube TV, he just put together an app to do the same thing.
Okay.
And you do it all through the app. Take the photos, do the inspection, everything, and it's the same basic thing that you just said. I'll know more tomorrow when I talk to him at PRI when I get there.
Okay.
So I'll get you some information on it because he's doing the same thing.
Yeah, I the guy who got me into it, he's hand filling out this 6-page form, and so I asked the girl in the office. I said, "You got that as a PDF?" I said, "So I could fill that out digitally." She goes, "Oh, really? You can do that?" I was like, "Yeah, I can do that." I said, "I think it'll be easier than by pen because it gets kind of messy." So I was able to complete the first one online, and the second one I just couldn't make it work for me. So I got to play with it again. So I did it by hand and then scanned it. But they have a nice app to upload the pictures. I'm uploading like 160 pictures that are all, they're all like about 1.5 meg a piece.
Yeah.
And I mean, I uploaded those in like 6 minutes. So right to their site. So that's nice. That was fast.
BMW was this?
What's that, Paul?
What kind of BMW were you going to look at?
An 850i. It's a
Big boy.
1991 850i.
That's the big dog.
Beautiful car, man. Really nice. I really like the car.
Yeah.
I liked it quite a lot.
Well, me, Terry, and Tyler were talking. A lot of the old European cars are coming back strong. The 80s, 90s. I mean, they're highly wanted.
Right.
A lot of guys are doing the LS swaps. What'd you say, Paul?
The Mercedes-Benz SECs, the mid 90s, 90s Mercedes-Benz
Beamers.
The Mercedes-Benz SEC European cars, the long 4-door, 160 mile an hour Mercedes-Benzes.
Yeah.
Those things I'm seeing on strong.
All right, here you go. This is the car.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's the one that Hawk drove in what was the name of that show?
I think so, yeah.
Spencer for Hire.
Spencer for Hire. Man, I love that car. You don't see them a lot.
No. It had some wheel issues.
Actually, he had. I
Road
think
rash.
that one was the 633 though. That was the older model.
Said you got to point out all the dents and imperfections.
Mhm.
It had a lot of body crap on it. Road rash. But let's get to. He's going to PDR the dent. Just stupid. This. I think this thing had an aluminum hood. This was a big flake of paint.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the worst part.
What did it sell for? Do you know?
It was listed at like 16,000.
Really?
Yeah.
The only problem with that, you can't find anything for it.
Yeah,
I
there's
know.
And if
not
you
a
do
lot of
find
them out.
anything
See, I
for
look
it,
up-
it's
So
on
you
the
see how
list,
clean the
especially in the
interior is.
interior.
Besides the seats, I mean, the leather seats had some cracking like you would expect. But, this on the bolsters,
It's gonna cost 20,000 to ship it over to Europe.
it is going to Europe. Yeah. This,
Wow.
Yeah.
Brake light fail.
Brake light failure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably got the wrong bulbs in it.
Yeah. But everything else was kind of clean. It was,
Dude, I'd love to have that car. Wow.
those.
Probably
Okay,
has,
Brian. These I think are the running lights. When the headlights flip up, these lights come on.
Yep.
And then sunroof worked. I don't know.
You're a brave man to move that sunroof.
Yeah. Well, they want me to know, and then the headlights. Yeah, but I want to make sure the headlights work. So we made sure. So yeah,
That's nice.
it's a real
When
nice
I had
car.
when I had my helper, and I tell him to bring a car, and I would tell him, do not touch anything. Do not put the window down. Do not open the sunroof. Do not do anything.
Do not see.
Don't even move the seat, dude. Just get in the car and drive it.
I had to do that too. And the driver's seat, the guy wanted to check all the electronics. He wanted to know if the memory seat features worked. Well, this thing either had the battery out of it or, it went dead because there were no memories set in the seat, and the radio wouldn't even turn on. You had to put the code in, so the battery had been out of it. But the driver's seat went forward. It was kind of slow, but it went up and down, front and back. But the passenger seat, when I went to move it forward, it didn't want to move, so I moved it back. Then as I moved it forward, it kind of twisted to the right. I was like, okay, stop. It went up and down, and that's the kind of stuff you write in the report. Like the seat worked, but this bit is, the guy wants to know ahead of time what's going on. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good service. I mean,
so yeah, I mean, you know what? For a car like this, especially if you're doing an international sale, the couple $100 you're going to spend to have it looked at, because we looked at a Super B a couple of weeks ago, and I saw the eBay ad, and the 6 or 8 eBay pictures made the car look fine. Up close and personal, there were a lot of little issues that you don't see in those 6 or 8 pictures.
Yeah.
And that car was going for some decent cash. So that's what people want to see before they shell out the money.
right.
I do a lot of pre-purchase inspections, and every pre-purchase inspection I charge slightly different for, but all of them were a minimum of about 8 to 10 hours time.
Well, that's a complete comprehensive inspection. Yeah.
Full detail of that car with my opinion.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't have the. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to people's houses or shops, and this shop had said right from the start, there's no lift available. So okay, I'm getting no undercar information whatsoever except bending down and see if there's leaks. I can't check. And this guy wanted to check. He wanted to know about the bushings and the control arms, and I told him, look, I can't see any of it because the car's like 4 inches off the ground.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's it. I can't do it.
Yeah, when I was at the dealer, like Paul said, somebody said, I'm going to buy this car. And I said, well, how do you want me to look at it? Because it depended on the price. And if it include a compression test or a leak down test, the whole 9 yards. Some guys, like I said, they'd pay whatever because they wanted all the information. And it was always funny because the owner of the car would be there, and then he'll be like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I want to do a leak down." The guy wants a leak down test. Oh, I don't know about that. You're not touching my motor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, so obviously there's a problem somewhere along the line." No, there's no problem. And I said, "Well, then we're doing a leak down test."
That's why I said I hope they're all like this guy, because he said, "Here's the key, and go do your thing." And he came out later on. He says, "Oh wow, you're still going?" I said, "Yeah, I'm being a little comprehensive. This guy knows these cars, and he has a lot of specific information he wants looked at." So I said, I'm covering all the bases here. It's, gonna make him happy. He's like, "Okay, take your time. It's all right." Like, and then he walked away. I'm like, "Oh, great. This is excellent."
Yeah, that's a great service, because
Yeah.
I got two buddies. One bought a 70 Monte Carlo, sight unseen, out of Florida on eBay. It got home, and it was clean, beautiful car. I can't believe how nice it is. I mean, like, really not show car, but well kept. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I had another buddy. He bought one, and it got home, and everything under it was wrong or not there. It was a mess.
Oh
He
yeah.
lost so much money, man. That is terrible. So
Yeah.
this service here is a blessing to guys that really want a certain type of car.
Yeah. Yeah, just to get the eyes on it. In fact, with the Super Bee, my buddy had told me, he goes, "I don't know if the guy wants us to look at it more to see what we see, or to just verify there's a physical car there before he sends a bank check for 50 grand.
Yeah, that's true too.
And-
Yeah.
That's also too, yeah. So he ended up not buying the car, because the car went back on eBay the next day at a lower price. So the guy relisted it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the report. There's a lot of stupid little things, like little paint chips, little sags. Driver quality car. I wouldn't have turned it down. Maybe for that kind of money, I would. I wouldn't have paid that kind of money for it. But then now you can see the interior. Like, it's got a black dash, upper and lower, and somebody had touched it up, and the paint was like a little sketchy. It didn't really match. It wasn't restored.
Yeah.
So just things that, there were a little more corrosion and like pitting in places. Typical driver quality car. But the guy was.
I wonder how many of those cars they made, because there's not a lot of them out.
I looked. I did. I decoded the VIN plate on that car, and I was trying to find the numbers. The problem is they get lumped in with the coronets.
Mhm.
So to break it out, I didn't see any number that broke it out specifically. The Super Bee was a low level car. It was based on a coronet. It had the rubber floor mats, no carpet. It was like a Roadrunner. It was a lower level car with just a good engine and tranny and rear.
Mhm.
So
Nice.
yeah. So like I said, she came back with the Chevelle. I was like, rah, yeah, that's exactly what I want. And then it's like, yeah, all right. So we'll see.
Florida.
Yeah, we'll see. So it's it's a good side gig. It's side money. It's my buddy was telling me, he said, you will get to see some of the nicest man caves that are in your area that you don't even know exist.
Yeah, that's got to be cool.
You'll be getting it. Yeah, so that will be
Tyler, what are you doing in my house?
in
You
my
know I'm
bedroom.
not feeling good.
So, do you say how the radius that you will travel, or they send it to you to your zip code, or how's that work?
That's a very good question. We didn't discuss that, but I know from my friend who is passed it on to me, they kind of know that I'm on Long Island. So the few times he had to go to either Brooklyn or over the border or even into Jersey or Connecticut, he squawked and said, "Hey, you got a guy up there. What do you need me to do that for?" And it was maybe to double check the guy they had, because they felt he didn't do the right job. But so it's pretty much confined. Like the first one I had to drive out, way out to the eastern end of the island. But on a weekday, that wasn't a big deal. In the summer, that could be a little bit more of a problem. I mean, it wasn't Montauk or anything, but yeah. So the area is pretty much Long Island. So what's Long Island, Jim? Like 20, or are we like 25 miles across at the widest by about 120?
Yep.
miles wide. Yeah, something like that. So
No, it takes forever to go across it.
it could. It definitely could. And there's a lot of stuff out east too. So hopefully it won't be a lot of stuff that I got to do. Be getting a summer house out there.
Yeah. So do they give you? How do they pay you through like the value of the vehicle or?
It's pretty much it's kind of like a standard fee. I got to work with her not to because I have a couple of questions about it. And the distance, thank you. Like the van was further out, so that was a little more money. So my buddy was saying, they probably gave you like a mileage consideration because it was further. They're all around like $1.25, $1.50, something like that.
Mm.
Okay.
Keith said he does it too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be buying Cougarans with it. It's going to be nice. It'll be pocket money, It'll be nice walking around money.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
And
where's Keith at? Is he in Florida?
Yeah,
he is. Yes. Yeah.
So it's probably a good market down there for that.
Everywhere. Where isn't there a good market for it these days?
Yeah.
There's cars everywhere, and people are selling them, and
eBay's opened up the world, man. Really.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, this buyer was in Israel, and she said he's a 20-year client. He's been buying stuff for 20 years and using them for 20 years to check it out.
Really?
So yeah.
Interesting.
So, and I'm sure he's buying all European stuff.
Yep. So I posted one of my buddy's vans. This was probably 2000, somewhere in there.
Uh-huh.
So I posted his van. So I got a call from a guy in Africa, and he said, I'm going to buy the vehicle. I'm going to send a check with the driver to pick up the car.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, well, no, that don't sound right. So I was like, send me the check. When it clears, I'll release the vehicle. So he sends the check, and then the driver calls me like the next day.
Mm-hmm.
He says, oh, I'm coming to pick up the van. I was like, no, the check didn't clear yet. He goes, oh, well, I'm on my way already. I was like, well, you better get a hotel because until this check clears, it's not leaving.
Right.
So my bank calls me and says, no, this check is no good.
Oh.
So if I would have gave that vehicle to this driver, they would have had it. It would have been gone.
Lewis, we had a guy who was on the radio show repeatedly over the years. He was a local appraiser, which is different than an inspector because he actually assigns a value to the car.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was top of the game, and he dealt international. He came in one year, it's probably about 5-6 years ago, and he says, all right, I got a good topic for the show. And he took out of an envelope a personal check, a company check, a bank check, a money order, cash, all different ways you could pay for something. And all those checks had been endorsed and gone through a bank. You can see they had all the markings on them. So he said, my question to you is, if you were going to buy a car, which one of these methods do you think would be the best way or the foolproof way to not get scammed on buying that? If you were selling, which of these would you accept as payment to know you would get in the right deal?
U.S. Service order.
Say that again, Paul. I'm sorry.
U.S. Postal Service money order.
Okay, I would have thought cash. Cash is king. Well, he said none of them. He says every single one of these documents you're looking at was phony. They were all fraudulent.
Really?
Even the postal money order. And he said the only way that I will make a sale in 10 years or anybody is a bank wire transfer, because it's bank to bank. He says it's the only way you can be sure you're not getting scammed.
Yep.
And we're looking at these things, and we're no experts, but they sure look good. I mean, we were looking for like weird, wonky characters and stuff. No, everything looked 100% legit. So,
wow.
Yeah.
U.S. postal money order, because if it doesn't go your way and there is a problem, there's certain people or certain entities in the world you don't want to fuck with. And Postmaster General is right up there with the FBI.
Oh, I know that. I know that. But they do make bogus money orders, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. Unless you can know how to spot it. I mean, and everything has a like. I know when I was on eBay years ago, I was buying stuff and I would get money orders, and that's how I paid for it. But they were good up to a certain amount,
Yes.
and I was never spending more than and it's thousands of dollars, So for my purposes, it was perfect.
$5,000.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're buying a $50,000 car, you can't use a postal money order.
No.
Right.
You have to send them a stack of them. So, yeah, that's when they said wire transfer. Now it was funny because a year and a half ago, when I paid my mortgage off, it was sitting in the bank, and I told the guy, "Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay my mortgage off." Oh, great! Congratulations! Thank you. Here's the money. And he says, "Okay, we'll wire transfer it to the other bank," and he got all the information in line. And he wire transfers it. I said, okay, that was uneventful. And he goes, okay, well, anything else I can help you with? I'm like, yeah, can I have a receipt? You got a piece of paper to show me that you just transferred 70 grand of my money to another bank? Oh, no, well, they have it now. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm not leaving until I know they say this thing went through. Oh, well, they'll contact you probably within 15 minutes to 2 hours, and they'll let you know. I'm like, well, I'm staying right here until they do. I'm like, because you just took my money and it went through that internet wire. Now, I was a little freaked out. And then, of course, the other bank, they did, they did get back. They said, yes, the transfer's gone through. We have it. I'm like, okay, good. But it's like, wow. And it was like,
Yeah, that's scary.
Like, give me a piece of paper or something, man. You write me or give me something. Holy shit. Yeah, it was scary.
I remember about 25 years ago, I had to go into, I think it was a bank, it was Sovereign, which I guess became Bank of America.
Yep.
That's what I was dealing with, as a matter of fact.
I went in there to cash a check. I didn't have an account there, and they wanted to charge me a fee for cashing a check.
Right.
That's fine. I think it was $3. The whole incident was over $3 25 years ago. So they charged me $3 to cash a check, and I agreed to the fee, cash a check, and I asked for a receipt. The bank could not provide me with a receipt for the $3 for cashing the check. And me being a lot younger and a lot more hot-headed, decided to cause a scene in the bank over no receipt for $3 for services that you're charging me for, but you cannot provide me with a receipt for these services. And held up the line and was escorted out.
Well, luckily, this dude was okay, and he let me sit in his office there for 15 minutes because I said, I'm not leaving until I get something, So.
Well, I think serious when mine was over $3.
Right.
I want a receipt for the $3 you charged me.
But still, you make a transaction, they should be able to provide you with a receipt. It's just that simple.
Right.
Charging for their service, okay. Yeah. I agree to the service, okay. I understand. No problem. Take your $3. Give me a receipt.
That's it.
Exactly. So the paperwork shows correct because this is the check, and it's $3 short now. I need to account for that.
Right. Yeah. Hey, I agree.
Yeah, they didn't agree with me.
No. Yeah, well.
Good times.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, so Saturday I'll have a lot of good footage for you guys.
Nice.
So stay tuned. A lot of people are coming. I reached out to some of my people in there. They're going to be here. There.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like you said, the Parisi's on their way up. They were on their way up this morning.
Yeah, I think they're there. I think she posted something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll catch up with her tomorrow.
Right.
I mean Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday, right. It's hard to forget the days when you're sick. I know it's.
Yeah, we ain't feeling
You're
good.
running that
days.
fever. You're just, delirious. It's okay, man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So has anybody jumped on Brian's streaming service that what is it, Speed TV? Yeah, Speed TV.
No.
Oh,
I saw the post, but I hadn't gotten to. I haven't really done much on the internet or anything.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. He has a lot of content on there. He has all of the fast times.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pink's all out.
Pinks.
All that's
Yeah.
on there. Yeah, so you can go back and watch a lot of that old stuff. And if you pay attention, you might see some of our guests that's been on here that was on those shows racing.
Yeah.
Before they became friends.
What's
You know what I mean?
of it?
The Speed was it?
Speed
Speed TV.
Speed Tube TV.
Speed
Tube.
Speed.
Yep.
Yeah, Tube.
On that by going on to my app screen thing on that thing on the wall.
You go to YouTube.
Go to YouTube.
Yep.
Okay, I can do that one.
Yeah, actually, I think it was in our chat. You posted it in our chat line, right?
Yeah, I believe it's in our chat thing. It's a link to it.
Yeah, but that would get to my phone. That's something I'd want to watch on the TV.
Yeah. Go
It
to
was
YouTube.
this right here, right?
Yeah, I think. I can't see it. Hold on.
Oh,
I'm on my phone.
I think I saw that. Yes, I saw when you sent that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Frank. Frank Lutz.
Yeah, so go to YouTube and type in Speed Tube TV, and it'll come up. And they have probably 10 different shows on there.
Okay.
Ed's going to be on there. Beard.
It's Power Tube.
Oh, I'm sorry. Power Tube. You're right.
That's what it is right there.
Yeah, Power Tube TV. When he first started, it was Speed, but they had to change it because of the Speed channel.
Power
Tube
TV.
Yes.
Power Tube TV. Yeah.
Yep. So there'll be a lot of good content on there. And there's another channel out. You know what it is? 0 to 60.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, 0 to 60. That's the one that Lou Santiago's involved with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Terry just signed up with them, so he'll be on that channel. There's a lot of good stuff on that channel as well.
Well, I'm 57, so I got 3 more years.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm past the prime. I'm overdue.
I'm catching up with you guys.
Yeah, my born on date has been it's expired.
Your born on date. Yeah.
It was Budweiser was doing that, right? With the born on dates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Best if consumed by.
Right. I never really pay attention to that.
As long as it tastes all right, right?
Hey, look. I don't see it. I know it's there somewhere.
The Coke one, it's stamped on the bottom.
July 2024.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, that one don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cans are on the bottom, and the bottles are on the top over here. See, I don't drink them anymore, but that was a special run, Starlight.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Hey, KG. KG's Garage.
Starlight, like the Starlight Motel on Route 1.
Yeah, those were the good old days. Nobody, we ain't supposed to talk about stuff like that, Paul. Come on now. Starlight.
Sound like a cheap motel.
No, it was a high dollar place. It's great for when you're sick.
University of Maryland.
That's classic. Classic stuff there.
Right next to the, what was the taco place?
Terrapin. Yeah, Terrapin, right.
Terrapin tacos.
Terrapin tacos, yeah. Yeah. And then the Toucan one was up in Laurel. It was a little farther up.
Yeah. I think
That was
there. Or at least it was still there a couple years ago.
Yeah, the sign's still there, but I don't think that was a tough place, man. You had to really like tacos to go into that place.
I was just listening to a local radio station today, and one of the hosts was saying he went into a caller called in saying went into a Moe's.
A Moe's,
right? That's Southwestern and stuff. And he said, "Have you ever gone to the bathroom in a Moe's?" And the host said, "No." He goes, "You got to see the graphics they have on the doors. On the men's room, they have a burrito, and on the women's room, they have a taco."
Yep.
Oh, like, holy shit! He goes, "I don't know how they're getting away with that." That's great.
Yep.
That's great.
Yep.
Because nobody's put the two together yet.
Yeah, literally.
That's there's a Moe's and a Laurel. So yeah.
That's funny.
Keith, what's up?
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, Keith.
Keith,
Hey.
what did you do? You look totally
he darkened the edges up a little bit.
What did you spray paint? You spray paint your
A
face?
little bit. Huh?
A little Krylon spray paint or something, man? What's going on?
Yeah. I decided to try it out, see how it is.
You're totally different.
You bought the that soap that darkens the hair out a little bit. And
Yeah,
one too many times.
it's not working over here though.
No.
Still white.
Well, that's the old dog look. You ain't getting rid of that.
Yeah.
I thought it was Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shaved all mine off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
Just about.
By the weekend, you'll be full on again.
Yeah, this time of the year I have to shave it. I get mistaken
So, Brian,
as Santa Claus.
Yeah. Brian, I got a question for you. Since you have experience with larger vehicles, I took the Beast out for a ride a couple times, and I'm hating the way it's tough. I talked to a guy. He said maybe take some leaf springs out. What do you have any experience with any of that kind of stuff, or maybe what to do with?
I would bag it. I would bag it. I would go find some used bags off of a Greyhound bus, and I would bag it, not to raise it and lower it, but just to even the ride out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest thing. It keeps the swaying down and the rolling and everything. You put bags on it.
Let me
Cheapest way.
a couple questions before we go jump into the extreme and bagging it. And yes, that's the answer. But how old and round are the tires that are on the bus?
They are old, and I'm gonna have to replace them all. They're kind of old.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a big thing too. I mean, Paul's correct, but I'm just saying with the bigger vehicle, you're going to get some roll and some sway, and it's going to be rough. I mean, not smooth. And like I said, to even that out, you could there's tons of it on YouTube. You can, and it's fairly cheap. I actually want to do it to the tool truck because when I when I pinch that thing into a turn, dude, that thing rolls like you won't believe.
Yeah,
flexes.
But you're carrying a bunch of weight.
That's true.
Whereas Lewis is in a vehicle that was designed to carry a bunch of weight that no longer is carrying that weight, and it's carrying more evenly distributed weight that's probably not as much as a a school bus full of teenagers.
Yeah, I'm probably thinking around 26,000 total after the build.
What was it built at the pole?
33. Yeah, it was built to roll with 33. So
you're short 10,000 pounds.
yeah, yep, roughly.
That's going to make it ride rough and hard. And yes, the bags will soften it up. But when you're complaining about, and I'm not saying you're complaining, questioning the stiffness and the characteristics of it today on these couple short runs, when the vehicle has spent a lot of time recently sitting, flat spotting tires with old tires to start with. And do you know if the air pressure is even throughout all of them?
No, they're not.
Okay.
But I have been moving it around. There's no flat spots because it's I move it back and forth across the street all the time. So,
But that's time for the tire to go through a heat cycle, get all good and warm and round at 40 miles an hour.
mm-hmm.
It's just moving and sitting, moving and sitting, moving and sitting.
Right.
So the tire doesn't actually stay round.
And also, do you have steer tires all the way around, or do you have steer tires up front and then you have knobbies in the back?
I want to say steer tires all the way around.
Steer tires will basically be tires that have your tread has like 5 lines going down, and then then the knobby tires, or they call them tow truck tires because they're like
a lot of
little cuts in the back. Because I get a big difference when I have all steer tires on my tool truck. It drives like a Cadillac, but I normally, because of the cost, I have right now I have knobbies on the back and steer in the front, and you noticed a big difference in the way it drives with the back.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I think it might have knobbies in the back, like you said.
Most school buses have knobbies. It's because the difference basically is, I don't know on yours, I'm just taking my size. I have 19 and a halves. That's the size tire that I have, 19 and a halves, rim wise. Steer tires for mine are $400 and knobbies are $275.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm rolling 22 5s.
So with your 22 5s, and if you put steers all the way, like if you look on a Greyhound bus, they'll have steer tires all the way around, or your public transportation might have steer tires all the way around, and that's going to be a big difference in ride quality. And like Paul says, with them sitting old tires, you really can't go, and especially if you have 80 pounds in one and 110 in the other, you're going to have issues.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. I'll check
But
that out.
I would definitely bag it for stable built, and it would drive better. You don't have to, you're not lowering or raising that way. You're just using it to keeping it even, cushion, flat.
Yeah, so I had a guy tell me I should take a couple leaf springs out and bag it.
Yeah.
He goes, if I bag it the way it is right now, it's going to be fighting against the stiff leaf springs.
I don't know.
Well, that's where I was questioning
the weight
and what it was designed for, and how the distribution has been redistributed with the way you've built it out. Not a bunch of kids jumping up and down behind the axle anymore.
Right.
Your weight is more distributed, and how it's all done. So we've already determined that you're going to be, let's cut it out in half, 5,000 pounds stiffer than you needed to be. Then yeah, taking a couple leaves out of those springs would help make it more friendly.
Mm-hmm. Now I have my 100-gallon water tank will be Actually, I have 200 gallons behind the axle,
But
pretty
not
much in the middle.
rear bumper, up underneath behind the axle.
Yeah, one's going to be in between the frame behind the axle, and the other one's in the bus under the bed.
Okay,
behind
it's
it.
not hanging off the back of the bus. It's up underneath the bed in the back of the bus. It just happens to be behind the axle.
Yeah, yep.
I'd just take a quick look where the spring perches, how far back they go, and how that weight is being distributed behind you, because you don't want the steering to be light when you have a full tank. And is it your wastewater tank underneath in the back?
Yeah,
Gray tank, black tank type thing.
yeah.
When it's full, you don't want it to affect the steering a whole lot more than when it's empty and there isn't any weight back there. When you take into consideration what 250 gallons is 7 pounds a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want the like a tow truck.
Exactly.
What you don't want how to drive like a tow truck when you put that sprung weight on the back, then the front end, then you get the wheels kicked in funny, and that's why if you ever look at a tow truck, the wear on the tires are always because that
Yep.
weight gets thrown around on it.
Now, so I should probably wait to take any springs out because the springs will make that difference. Hold that weight.
Yeah, you don't want to make too many changes until you have it dressed out
and
Yeah.
done.
Have a half a tank of gasoline, a half a tank in the waste tank, and a half a tank in your freshwater tank to give you that kind of in the middle idea of how it's going to be.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
Toss in a cooler with ice, toss in 2 cases of beer, toss in your overnight bag.
Yeah.
It would be traveling.
Some Coke.
Well, definitely, you're going to have a case of Coke for me. Yeah.
Yep.
That's like back in the day on the German cars when we did alignments. We had sandbags where we laid out the car when we did the alignments, because or the guys with the 911s used to get pissed off because they'd come in, or like the twin turbos and the 930s, because we'd say, well, we're not lining until we get a full tank of gas, because the gas tank was over the front axle.
Yeah.
On that, and they would put it in, and of course they'd bring it in empty, and then of course we would do the alignment and stuff, and then they'd go to track day and they'd fill it up, and then the car wouldn't run right or drive right, and it's that little thing like Paul was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Before you really start, it's kind of a trial and error thing, but you want to lay out like just an even flat line with X amount of water and weight in the right place, just to get the idea. Because once you start changing, you don't want to change too much. You don't want to take this out and throw bags on it and have a problem, or all of a sudden now you put new tires on and you're like, holy crap, what did I do?
Yeah,
Right.
you just ate up $800 worth of tires on the.
Oh yeah, that'd be awful.
Another thing to think about is your propane. If you're going to be having propane tanks, you want those propane tanks in place and containing some weight as well.
Yeah, 40 pounds.
You don't have to necessarily fill the tank with water. Just, dispose of some lead in the back of it for an hour or so.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Appreciate it.
I noticed the difference in my first tool truck. The propane tank was up front. It was mounted up by the front of the truck, and there was a difference with my truck I have now, because it's mounted in the back. And like I said, if I actually switched the 2 different toolboxes, because I had too much weight on one side of the truck and it drove funny, so I had to take and put the 4 series on one side during the wintertime, because when I have that all filled, because the battery, everything's on the one side, which was too heavy. And then I switched and it drove different. So It's kind of weird. switching a little weight around. It's like the old days of NASCAR when they had the lead bias weight sliding around at different times to help them out.
Yeah. All right, sounds good. You said Greyhound. Go check some Greyhound.
Yeah, that's what a lot of guys do with the tool trucks, because they find like a used Greyhound bus. It's fairly inexpensive. There's tons of them laying around, and
I know where a tour bus is sitting.
But
that should be real nice and cushy.
Man, that thing rides like a Cadillac, I'm telling you. And listen, his seat didn't have any air in it. We couldn't air it up. So I'm riding on a hard seat, but man, you couldn't tell.
Yeah. And I'm sure, like you said, Tyler, he probably has steer tires all the way around on that bus.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yep.
And I guarantee you probably have knobbies on the back and steer up front.
Yep.
You really want to go for a ride? Put the knobbies up front and see how that drives.
Yeah.
I was stupid at one time and did that, so don't ask me how I know.
Hey, you gotta learn somehow, right? What's up, Coach?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. So Paul's gonna bring you a couple motors up, huh?
I don't know. Gotta figure that thing out. I gotta talk to my wife and make sure I don't get in trouble.
Meet him halfway.
Tell her we said it's okay.
Meet him halfway.
Yeah. Hey, Keith, I love your hair. You look like Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Nikitas? I don't know who that is.
The lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
All right. Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do with my hair, and I'm just letting it grow. So, like, I don't know what's happening with it. Oh, yeah. Like a bowl cut. Yeah. Now I just have to do his mustache and the little thing here.
Yeah.
I said Doc Holliday.
Yeah, Doc Holliday.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see what Doc Holliday.
Where'd Paul go?
So,
He had to put another quarter in the internet machine.
Yeah. So he must have stole a whole bunch of motors from somewhere. He's trying to off them on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, he's had them. I think he has to get rid of them. They're probably, I don't know. I would imagine they're probably up here.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he took them. I don't think he took them to Texas.
No, I think he's at the place down in Texas, scrapyard in Texas.
Yeah, it was at his job or something, wasn't it? I don't know.
Yeah. Paul, where you at? Get out of the bathroom.
He's not doing anything with the chickens. He's out in his shop, so we know that. I lost 2 chickens this week.
You lost 2 chickens.
Yeah, one rooster just disappeared, and then one died this morning. I was like, oh.
Oh boy.
Just throw them in the back in the woods.
How many do you have?
Now we have 8.
My sister-in-law has like 35.
No, that's way too many.
Wow.
So she's getting eggs. She's getting eggs pretty strong.
Yeah. It's cheaper just to go buy the eggs, though. If you figure out how much cost and feed and everything else.
Try having hens that you're feeding and caring for that are no longer producing eggs.
Oh yeah, useless. Yep.
That's called chicken soup.
Yeah, that's called a chicken sandwich.
But the chicken has to be processed in order to make it a sandwich.
Yeah.
So come on down, process a couple of my chickens because they don't me any good.
Well, that's why they have a food processor.
Yeah.
Or a snow blower. That's what you use a snow blower for. That shoot does a pretty good job.
When I was up in Western Maryland living on South Mountain, there was an Amish, or they might have been Mennonite farm not too far away. And I'd just take the birds down to him with a cooler full of ice, and end of the day, I'd go down and give him $40, and he'd hand me back my chickens.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do it when I was in Maryland.
Yeah. So, Paul, we were wondering those hot motors. I mean, those motors that you have. Where are they down in Texas or?
Yes. There's over 20. See, I've been working with the one guy when I'm not on deliveries. I'm back in the warehouse, staying away from the office so that they can't find me to tell me to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
I've been going back in the warehouse and helping the guy straighten out the warehouse. And one of the things we've been doing is putting all the LS motors in one spot. I counted over 20 LS motors today. They didn't even know they had.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like, we need to move these things. And the ones that are truly cores and no good, get them out of here. And then I've been finding they're giving me a hard time because I like this Atlas. The more I learn about it, the inline 6-cylinders, the 4.2s, the more I'm learning about them, the more I like them. And they're like, these things are junk. We can't sell them. I'm like, well, you can't sell them because they're good engines. They're so bad.
Yeah. Yep. That's a sign right there.
And they produce almost 300 horsepower to start with.
Yeah, they're good.
Sounds like a new project to me.
Yep.
Guys, time for me to bail. I got to get up early tomorrow.
Hi, Jim.
All right, Jim. Appreciate you.
Have fun at PRI, Lois.
Yeah, I'll be there Saturday.
If you
Take
make
care,
it,
Jim.
yeah.
Yeah, if you make it, hopefully feel better.
Yeah, hopefully you
Thank you.
I'm going to call it a night too, fellas.
Call whatever you like, Paul. We do that all
All
the
right.
time.
And
All right, Paul. You have a good week.
you all enjoy Ohio or no, you're in Indy.
I'm in Ohio at the moment, heading to
Right.
Indy.
Heading
Indiana is mine.
Gonna get there Saturday. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Hey,
enjoy.
Lewis,
we'll
do you
talk-
have Paul's email?
Yes, I do. I think. No, wait. No. I can give you his phone number though.
Give me the phone. Yeah, you
Okay.
can give out the phone.
Okay. I'll send it to you.
Okay,
Guys,
cool.
All right, Paul. Have a good week.
you do the same. Good night.
Take care, Paul.
What time is it? 10, 19. Let's see.
So Ray, I looked at that inductor. That thing's expensive.
It is expensive. But I'll tell you this, like any good tool, it's worth the money for the jams that it'll get you out of. And I've never had it fail me yet. And I've used it on I actually developed a technique to loosen brake bleeders on calipers with that thing.
Ooh.
And I mean,
What tool are you talking about?
it's called the inductor. It's a heatless. Right. It's
Yeah.
a heatless, a flameless heat tool. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler uses it all the time. He had it
I
out
use
today.
it all the time. Well, not all the time, but yeah, when I need it, it's a lifesaver and it works every time. So I'd say, yeah, it is expensive, but to have that tool in your arsenal, if I had to choose now, the other tool I've been wanting to buy, it's on my list, is that it's a multi-pneumatic bender flaring tool that I know Eastwood sells. It probably, I forget who else makes it. I know Eastwood is where I saw it. And if I had to choose between that and the inductor, I'd buy the inductor first.
You're talking about the hydraulic brake liner?
Yeah. The one it's like it's got the cartridges in it. You just turn it.
Oh no, that's it's different.
Yeah, it's if I had to choose between that and the inductor, I would get the inductor first.
Why? Who needs an inductor?
Keith was asking me about it during the week.
Yeah, I don't need one.
But
it'd be cool to have. I know. So how are you using it on the bleeder?
Well, the trucks I worked on at the shop, the tow trucks and the flatbeds, big calipers with big bleeders, and they were all frozen. And I just take that coil and put it over just like a bolt. I just put it over that bleeder.
Yeah.
But see, they say you only need like a 10-second blast. A lot of guys leave that trigger pulled until they see smoke or until the part turns red.
Yeah.
No, I have a combination. With the brakes, I found that I'd apply it for like 10, 15 seconds and stop. Try it with a wrench or a socket even. No, and keep reapplying it in smaller bursts.
Well, with definitely with brake fluid, you want to do that because brake fluid burns without a flame.
Yes.
And it's very before you know it, you'll scorch the reservoir. If you have a plastic reservoir, it will melt, and then you have a fire under the hood of the car when you don't even realize it's too late. But like Ray said, you just want to do short burst. You don't want to, you don't have to get it to where it's glowing red. It's just like Ray said, 10, 15 seconds. Try it, 10, 15 second type thing, and it works. Yeah. The only reason why, and the only biggest thing with the inductor is that you want to have, you could do it with one coil. It just takes longer for it to heat up. You want to try to have multiple coils, and they have multiple. Actually, I would show you, but I ended up I had a guy that needed one, and I sold my inductor last week. So, and the reason why I was asking who wants one, because if I buy it on a multiple, if I purchase multiples, I get a bigger discount.
No, okay.
Is two considered multiple?
Huh?
Is two considered multiple?
Somebody.
Technically.
So if anybody wanted inductors and go in on it, I like I said, because I went many years without one, and when I finally got one, I cannot believe how much I used it and how much
I missed it.
Actually, I need it this weekend, and I don't have one at the moment.
I'll lend you mine. Well, see, and I found that on different metals, I've always used it on steel, mostly bolts, and then brake stuff. But before my neighbor moved, he came over. He had a professional carpet cleaning machine, and at the wand, it had a manifold with like 6 jets in it, and one of them was, I think one of them clogged, and he tried to take it out, and the steel jet galled into the aluminum, and he couldn't get it out. So I told him, I'll get it out. And he says, what are you going to cut it off and drill it? And I said, I got a couple tricks up my sleeve. I'm going to try something first. And if it doesn't work, I'll be drilling and using it easier. And I put the inductor on it. And it was so easy. It was easier than steel even. Because it just, I guess it heated up that aluminum, which
you have to be very careful though with aluminum.
Oh, again, I used short bursts. I didn't give it a heavy, a moderation. It's moderation. And
non-ferrous, you're not supposed to use it.
I know. But that's why I was very careful, and I was very judicious with my application. Right. And man, that thing came right out. I mean, it wasn't even like if I was charging for that job, if I had to charge, you're like, on a sheet, you probably would have to charge a guy an hour. It took me like 12 minutes. I would have felt bad. I would have felt bad.
Actually, because the jet was probably metal, that's the only reason why it heated up. If it was pure aluminum there, it would have never heated up. Actually, it would have gotten to the point with the magnetic field around it, especially magnesium. You got to be very careful because it'll explode on you. But all of a sudden, it would have just cracked.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful with, like I said, it's not really meant for aluminum or magnesium. Magnesium's really, you got to be really careful.
Right. Well, like I said, it's all about the application. You got to be careful. You can't be, so many guys are cavemen with this stuff, and they just want to see smoke. And, it's like, if you want to see smoke, light the oxyacetylene torch.
Dude, use that instead.
You'll get smoke.
Yeah. So can you make it bend around somehow to go on brake lines?
You can actually rebend the coils to do anything you want. You just don't want the coils to touch each other.
Yeah.
So they actually have one that's straight, and you can make it to whatever that you need. If you need something to go around, this size or down to this size.
Yeah. No, I was thinking like you have the brake line, and you have the nut on there, and you just want to heat the nut up to get that off.
Right.
You just bend the one around it.
Yeah, actually, like I said, I would show you we could have a demonstration, but I sold one.
Now, do you have the inductor brand?
Yeah, I
Is there a knockoff, Brian?
there is a knockoff, but we sell the Mini Doctor 2 or the Viper. Is it Viper or
The Mini
Victor,
Doctor 2 that's the one that has it's an angle.
yeah, it's actually at an angle,
See,
so it gets in tighter.
Yeah, and I see mine is the original one that's just big and straight, and it is kind of tough to get it into certain spots. So I end up bending the coils to make my right angle or my 45-degree angle.
Like on Ray, on the older one, the Mini Doctor, the original one, I can get those fairly cheap now. I mean, those are fairly. I mean, I had to call and see because those prices changed. The Mini Doctors are a little bit more money. I get the HD because it has a light, and
mine has a light.
It has and the timer's a little different on the trigger.
Mini Ductor Venom HP, is that what one?
Yeah, HP.
That's what Tyler has.
Yeah, that's what I normally sell.
Yeah. It looks like a little gun.
Yep.
He uses it all the time. He's using it today, actually.
You can put a hot dog in it and you can cook lunch.
As long as you run a coat hanger down the center. It needs metal. It has to have metal.
Right.
We can do that.
Sure.
Yeah. That's fine. That'd be good.
We'll get that hot dog on the drill. Running around.
Doctor on there.
I can see somebody doing that now.
Oh yeah.
It's been done.
Wait a minute. Justin, where are you at?
In the living room.
Why are you not down in Indianapolis?
I'm heading down there tomorrow.
He's right down the road.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm
well,
heading down there. I'm heading down there tomorrow too.
I wouldn't say I'm right down the road, but yeah, I think we're leaving out of here at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, we got a whole crew coming.
You got my number, right?
I don't know if I do.
All right.
Yeah, we got to meet up.
Yeah. How can I get you my number here? Wait a minute. Let me think.
You can put it either in a private chat or just send it to
Oh
me.
yeah. I put it in the private chat. Where is the private chat? I'm on my phone. I don't see it.
Or actually,
I found it. Found it.
He's in the chat in our chat talk. All you have to do is click on it. It tells you
that's
everything.
True. That's true. Wait a minute. I'll do it both ways. What's my number?
Just say it right now over the
I
air.
don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just put it in the private chat and I'll send it to you. In the Facebook thing, Majiggy.
There we go. Yeah, we'll meet up.
Yeah, I'm in Ohio. I'm gonna be leaving tomorrow late, and I'll be down here Saturday.
Heck yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, hit me up in the morning. We'll meet up.
Can do.
So, Coach, you got to start coming to some events. Meet us at some events. You and Ray.
Yeah, I got to get free. That's the big thing. I've got something in the works I can't talk about that might unfortunately tie up my time more, but it's a matter of if I take it.
Okay. Well, hey, as long as you're moving forward.
It's something I can text you about it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's I'm on the fence. A major part of me is leaning towards yes, a major part of me is leaning towards sit and wait type of thing. There's a couple of things that's got to happen, but we'll see what happens.
All right.
But-
Good.
But
good.
yeah, that's the big thing is like I want to make it to SEMA. That's closest to me, but usually I'm in the middle of my girls' soccer season. But I was looking at it this year and trying to figure for next year if I can work out breaking away for a day or two.
Mm-hmm. How
'Cause, I mean-
far is it from you?
Oh God, I'd have to look it up, but I want to say maybe a 10-hour drive. But it's been a while since I've driven up there. But like if I hop on a plane like Southwest Air, cheap
Yeah.
flight, it's like maybe a half-hour flight, if that.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
man.
it's a real quick
Dang.
flight. But I want to say I think it's 6 hours to San Diego from here. I think it's 10 hours to LA, and I think it's 10 hours to Vegas. I think it's roughly about the same to Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Well, shoot, you that far or that cheap of a plane trip, man. You can come one day.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was thinking about is for next year I might be able to work it out to come out for a day or two, or at the very minimum fly out, get there early in the morning, spend the day there, and fly back.
Yeah, I've done
I
that
mean,
before.
Yeah, we did. I did that in high school. A friend of mine was working for one of the airlines, and in high school we rode the bus down to the city bus down to the airport,
Mm-hmm.
hopped on the plane, went to Disneyland for the day, and flew back.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Sounds like something Paul would do, just in the neighborhood,
Yeah, just hanging out.
just around.
I've done the
Ray,
Disney.
you okay?
Fixing my keyboard.
Oh, I thought you was having a stroke or something.
I had to pop the space key off. Oh shit! Now it's really stuck.
Spacing out, man.
Hey,
Yeah, I was like, you okay, buddy?
I found a picture here for. Here you go.
Oh yeah.
Now they call it the mini ductor, but that freaking thing is over a foot long.
Yeah, I saw a picture. I'm like, this is big.
So
It's
they
like
get
the
these-
Olympic torch.
These are obviously all of the coils they provide with it. And down here in this bag, there's some flat ones, so you could take like emblems off of cars or molding. You get behind it, and you just kind of heat it up and just pop it right off. Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
that's the kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
Sweet.
getting one too. Especially when I start working under the bus and doing mechanical stuff on the bus.
Yeah.
I'll find a rusty car to work on.
What's what?
I'll have to find a rusty car to work on.
We have no problem with that around here, boy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a whole bunch you can play
Come
with.
on down.
If you
Come
really
on up,
want to play
actually.
with it, I got it.
We'll trade.
It's hard to find rust down here in Florida if it's a Florida car.
So what were you inquiring about it for? What was the application?
I don't know. I've come across times where I had like busted bolts on some stuff. I have one truck that's from up north and it's all rusted, so that would
Yeah.
use on there. But just I don't know. So it could be cool to have instead of heat up something, or I was thinking even like on seatbelts, they have that Torx bit and it's Loctited.
Oh yeah.
Heat that sucker up and then you just pull it right out
Mhm.
instead of using a torch.
Sure.
Hey, Papa Squirrel, do you want it on the screen?
It is a very handy tool.
Looks like it.
Hey, I'm
Give me a
curious.
thumbs up or down. Okay.
Well, Isaac.
I'm curious. At PRI, like, what kind of stuff do they have there? Like Keith was talking a while back about the electric AC for a car. Would they have something like that there for you guys to look at? Scope out?
It's basically racing, but they have all electronics and all that stuff there.
Yeah.
It's more not technical, but more in
Performance,
depth. What'd you say?
like higher performance.
It's like less of a
Great
car
stuff.
SEMA, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's more for like the serious people.
Yeah, it's full blown racing and all the technology that you can put into a vehicle.
Billet and turbos as big as your face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just
Wheels,
build ideas.
safety gear, all that. All that.
Yeah, there's a lot of ideas down there. There's a few people I'm already ready to talk to, a few companies and stuff. So
Who's looking at who's?
Well, I'm going to try and talk to the stainless headers people. I'm building another set. I just finished one. I'm on to the second one. So I want to catch up with those guys.
Who are the guys that are down there? Is it
Stainless Headers Manufacturing is what they're called.
Oh, okay.
They make some really nice stuff. I just built the set for that 632. And then doing some for a potential Autorama build.
Okay.
That one actually be heading out your way. He lives on Long Island.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
You'll see him or hear him, one of the two.
Where is, do you know where he is on the island?
Not sure.
Okay. If you can find out, that'll track him. That'll pinpoint him.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a couple cars out there.
Hmm.
This I think will be our third.
Cool. I hope these guys use them and don't just trailer queen and park them in the house and never take them out. It's a waste.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one guy uses his a little bit.
Good.
He's got a Gasser Willys.
Nice.
Well, guys, I'm gonna hit the rack because
Yeah, you got to rest up, Lewis. If you're not feeling well,
yeah,
Feel better, man.
put stuff together for a long day of driving
Yeah,
Indianapolis.
exactly. Get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah.
Hi, Lewis.
Look forward to seeing you down there, man.
All right. Hey, you guys have a safe week. If I don't talk to you, and if you need me for anything, hit me up.
You got it, Lewis. Thanks.
Take care. Be safe.
All right.
See ya.
All right, later.
So long.
Hold on, I'm about to end streaming. I was about to cut you guys off. Hold on.
Yeah, we'll end it.
I'm on the phone here, so I don't know what I'm doing. How do I get off?
Yeah, I think that was a
Battery out of the phone.
that was last week too. We did that, Lewis. We did that last week. We had some hot topics we had to talk about. And I said, you know what? This stream is over.
I know, just like,
You got to get real.
Man. We got down to business.
I watched the replay. I was like, oh man, what'd I miss?
You missed all the good.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, Johnny would have loved it.
I actually had a bit of a rant going there. Yeah, but hey, that's
You get that sometimes.
Brian,
You
have you
missed-
seen Matko's latest video, the latest promotion video on YouTube?
You miss me freezing up with my fire stick.
Right. Brian, I was wondering if you saw Matko's latest promotion video on YouTube.
No, I have not.
It's for the drawer liners that are interchangeable with colors, and they're making like checkerboard patterns out of them, and then showing how you can attach the socket rails and
On our tool grid.
yeah,
Yep.
that's the latest one this week they came out with.
Yeah, I've been.
Interesting looking. I don't know if it's for me, but it's interesting looking.
I've. It's taken me 5 months to try to finish my tool grid.
You can never decide where to leave it, right?
Well, right. I mean, it's actually it's very good. It's very organized, and
I'm going to tell you this: it's not made for people who are either indecisive or too technical. Because I would never know. I would never be happy because
Right,
I'd always be changing it.
That's one of my problems that I have. The only thing that I do like about it, and I've actually went back. This is where this was the like on a socket rail. On our socket rails, they have here's on our socket rails, they actually have two holes to put screws, right?
Yeah.
So now it's a lot easier on that tool grid to screw this down instead of taking each individual block.
I thought there were posts that would sit on.
Yeah, well,
so you can move it.
They are. See, this is. See, this right here. And of course, the only problem is I got the older version. The newer version is a lot nicer, as in easier to set up because you don't have to. See, this would be a socket holder for a
3/8?
half inch.
Oh, half. Okay.
So, and it has a hole in the center where you put the screws. So, you screw this down, and then you put a socket, and then you put a next
on the rail.
Right. Well, the problem is you get halfway down, and then you realize that you didn't space it out.
Well, you got to put the piece on in the socket, then put the next one in the socket.
Right. And it gets very time consuming.
That's a lot of screws, man. That's a lot of screws.
I started with that, and then I was like, man, F that. So then I went back to the rail.
Yeah.
And it made it a lot faster. Now I'm in the middle of trying to see, like, they have these.
That reminds me of building like a steel shed. You got like 9,000 screws.
See, this is, see how it's half cut?
Yeah.
Well, this is to hold a ratchet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you put your ratchet on one end, and it has another end where it goes in. So then I started laying out for the ratchets. And like I said, I get halfway through and just say, well, I want it this way instead, or I want it that way. And next thing you know, it's been 5 months or 6 months, and I got my tools all over the place again.
No, I would not. I wouldn't be happy with that.
So
I have no problem. I had a set of 3 ratchets. They were in a plastic. They put that in the drawer and let it. That's where they sit. I have no
bag
problem.
of screws.
Screw that. That's too many screws.
Yeah.
It's like building a stupid shed. They give you like 9 million screws.
Now this here is a newer peg, and this does make it a lot easier. Because see, it has
yes, that's what
plugs.
I thought. Right. Okay.
And so you plug that in, and then, like I said, this has a slight cutout. See how that's slightly cut?
Yeah.
That would hold a ratchet
or extensions.
This would be a 1/4 inch holder.
Okay.
But the only problem I have, and I try not to be anal about this, see, they changed the color.
Yeah.
See, before your see, your 1/4 inch stuff was red, and your 1/2 inch is blue. So they had different colors for the sizes. Now they make them like gray and black. So if you were, some guys like today, I know we're still alive, and I won't mention any names, but I had a guy that was upset because
hold on a minute. Since Lewis Lee is gone, he's recovering, and he's not feeling too well, and we're shifting gears here. I think it's time to say this episode of Playing Traffic is over for the masses. We got a few things to take care of, so we'll be back next week, and we hear all about PRI and all this other good stuff. So for Lewis Lee, Ray Guarino signing off. All you guys, you're with me. See you next week.